Hi everyone, my name is Brandy. This is a cigar. It's brown on the inside. It's not weed and it's not marijuana. I have been a victim of sexual abuse, child abuse, and identity fraud and theft and just physical abuse, mental and emotional abuse. And people say I'm crazy because ever since I was little, they used to give me crazy pills. Uh, Ritalin, Adderall, Dexedrine, Risperdal, Depakote. They even gave me a pill called Zyprexa before. And those medications have side effects. And it was ever since I was 5 years old and I was sexually abused and molested in a household where they said people were calling themselves a family. And of course, you see, it's not marijuana. There was a guy one time that had a problem with me smoking and stuff like that. I would get beat up and locked up and stuff like that. It was the same people that call themselves a family, you know. When I was growing up, they filed petitions when I was like 14 and stuff like that and sent me to juvenile and foster. No, it was group homes. It was in Alabama, you know. I have scars, bruises, you know, stuff like that. People call me ugly, you know, a lot. So just because someone calls you ugly, it's no excuse for being abusive or a child abuser or a child molester or any of that stuff like that. I'm not in a gang, so if you see my fingers making any type of gestures, it's not a gang sign or any of that stuff like that. So I'm just making it real clear, it's not a gang sign or any of that. I'm not in a gang, of course, because when I was growing up, you know, other people would say that they were in gangs and they would say that they had sex with underage children because in order for a child to join a gang, especially when it's a girl, they would say that they got sexed in or they would say that they got fucked in for life. And so I never joined any of those groups that said for life or for death, you know. I never went to an initiation and met up with someone that told me it was an initiation for life or for death. So I never made any of those types of, you know, plans others made because I didn't want to be part of a group that had sex with underage children, whether they're boys or girls, and they said for life or for death, you know. So I don't really know what the colors or the stories that they tell about their groups and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm 38 years old today. And I never heard of anyone joining a gang at the age of 38 years old. So if I haven't done it by now, then I guess I just won't be doing it, you know. And that goes for any groups or whatever, because, you know, they said it wasn't just gangs, it was other groups that did stuff, you know, things, whatever it's called, you know. I'm not part of it, so I'm not supposed to, you know, speak about what I don't know. But as a witness, I have been a victim of marriage fraud. I have a marriage license with the date of April 30th, 2004, you know, and I don't know if it was before April 30th or after April 30th or on April 30th. And I'm talking about the year 2004. I don't know if it was before April 30th, 2004, on April 30th, 2004, or after April 30th, 2004. But sometime between then and now, you know, sometime in between, I've been sexually abused a lot because people have used the name April Williams and the identity and did sex stuff with me. And so the first message that I want to say about this is people say if it was your family, you wouldn't say anything, but if it was their family, you would try to embarrass them. No. First of all, the family court of Jefferson County told me that, you know, I have children, and I'm not sure, like, what they mean, because I'm not a lawyer or a judge or a courtroom official, but I would like to say this first. If Yatrell Johnson, Trinity Johnson, or Lord Jerry Johnson, or anyone, you know, use the name or image or any shape or form claiming that they were April Williams and they did sex stuff with me and had sex stuff with me, it's wrong. You're wrong for what you did. It's sex abuse. Especially if it was Yatrell Johnson, if it was Trinity Johnson, and if it was Lord Gerald Johnson. Because if they said you're my children, and whether you did voodoo, witchcraft, hoodoo, you know, that movie called Chucky where people tried to get in different people's bodies. If anyone had sex with me and did that stuff like that, you know, with me, you're wrong. I did not like it. It's wrong. And I would like to say this. Having a marriage license and being under the influence of being married, it doesn't matter if you think I liked it or if I said I liked it. What I said that I liked was being true and faithful to my marriage, the idea of being married. Thinking that I am married, having a marriage license, and thinking that the person was April Williams, because that's the name that they said it was. I was in love with the idea of being married, you know. So this is for my wife. This video is for my wife. Wife, I didn't give up on my marriage. I didn't give up on my faith. I never set a date, a time, or an appointment for anyone to have sex with me in my marriage bed using my marriage license or an identity, witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo, or any of that stuff, you know. I'm not sure when it started or who or how many times they did it. I'm not even sure if the person that had those children or if even the children participated in any of those activities. But if they did, they're wrong. Since there was an insurance fraud set up, you know, in the year of 2004, some people said that before Yatrell was born, they wanted me to die. And it wasn't just about insurance money. They said it was sick people and they wanted my lungs and my organs and my body parts. So they said it was a whole bunch of setups. They was like, if it's no life insurance policy, he won't be able to say it was for a life insurance policy. But then they wanted to harvest my body and take my lungs and my organs because I smoked a lot. And they was like, he must have good lungs or a good heart or something like that. And that they wanted to steal me and cut my body open, you know, the same way they cut it open the last time when they cut my thigh open. And they wanted to give my body parts to a sick person, you know. So, you know, they say you can't serve two masters. So whether it was a family or children and stuff like that, it was like, it's hard saying that you're married and having a marriage license, but being in a family court trying to be a family at the same time. You got to pick which one you is. You're either a family man in a family court fighting for a family, or you're married and you have a wife. And I'm like, hey, I got a marriage license. And there was no family court case on April 30th, 2004. So if someone else used the name or the image or the body, everyone saw that Child's Play movie where people was trying to get in and out of each other's body. So I might sound crazy, you know. But, you know, whether people said they had 6 letters or a murder and stuff like that, it was a lot of stuff people tried to frame me for. They wanted me to look guilty. They wanted to say that I told people to kill people, and they wanted to say that I told other people to meet me for sex. And they told a lot of lies because they was like, okay, what date did he tell you to kill somebody on? What weapon did he tell you to use? Okay, when did he tell you? And they was like, it's no answer for any of it. So they was like, you know, it's not good to be a know-it-all and always follow instructions because I'm not the leader of a group. I'm not Moses. I didn't come here to build an army or weaponize children or start a war or lead a group or a revolution or some kind of takeover. Not my job, no. Someone else had an idea of those actions and they tried to blame me for it. And it's wrong. It's wrong. I never weaponized anyone because I never gave anyone a weapon to do anything. Whenever I saw weapons, I took the weapons from the people and told them, sell your weapons and get your money back. You know, you don't need those weapons, you know, because no one's supposed to be fighting. People tried to intimidate me and trigger me to fight. They said, you have a family and you have a wife. And if you're not willing to fight for your family and defend your family, you don't deserve your wife or your family. And people told me that that was just them trying to trick you. And it was like, what does that? I was like, what does that mean? When I had my own idea of loving a girl, and she is my wife, and I am her husband, someone tried to give me another idea of being a warrior and a fighter. Someone wanted me to fight for a girl and fight for a family and fight girls and fight people in a family. I didn't come here to fight in that sense. The only fight I was supposed to fight was to fight the urge of making a girl into a single mom, fight the urge of being a sex pervert. And so I did. And whenever someone asked me to fight them or something like that, I told them I didn't want to do it. You know, they say there might have been letters that was reading. It was like, I told whoever the person was that I thought was my wife, you know, I'm not sure what they were doing. There's videos about hyenas. Someone said that the people that said they were April Williams, and some of those people, you know, they said they was a hyena. So what, they're going to say they was just teaching me how to have sex. They was just teaching me how to be married. They was just teaching me how to love a girl. It wasn't for me because they didn't say it was for me. When those people killed those people, they did not come to me and say, Brandon, they're going to kill those people for you. How do you want them to do it? It wasn't for me because they didn't ask me how did they want me to do it or how did they want them to do it. It wasn't for me. You understand? It's the way it was explained to me. And when people said they did sex letters or people used the name April, it wasn't for me. You know, I'm not even sure if April Williams is the name of my wife or if it's just a name that or identity that people use molesting me with it. I'm not sure, you know. So they say when it's for me, it was a girl that said, just for me. So you might not like the tone of my voice or whatever, you know, that stuff, but it was like, when a girl does something for you, she says, hey, Brandon, how do you want her to do her hair? Because she want to look good for me. Hey, Brandon, what kind of clothes do you want her to wear? Because she want to look good for me. Hey, Brandon, when you have sex, do you want it from the front? Do you want it from the back? Do you want her standing up or do you want her laying down? Because it's for me when she does it, you know. So if it's not for me and she didn't tell me it was for me, then, you know, how would I know if it's for me if she didn't say it was for me? So they said that, you know, it was people that said that they got letters and comments on the internet and online and that they did stuff. If a person went out and killed someone, they can't say that they did it for me because they didn't say, hey, Brandon, I'm doing this for you, Brandon. And since he's supposed to satisfy you, in order to make sure you're satisfied, Brandon, how do you want it done? Because it's for you, Brandon. When a girl puts her clothes on, her panties on, and does her hair, if she didn't say, I want a Brandon to like it, how do you like it, Brandon? It's supposed to be for you. Her hair is supposed to be done for you. Her clothes is supposed to be for you if it's for you. So if it's not for me and she didn't ask for me, then how would I know it's for me? So like I don't really understand it still. So they said that, you know, like if it was some people that they said that, you know, whether it was hoodoo or voodoo or child's play, like in that video, you know, It's just like me being in this wheelchair. No one said, oh, it's for you, Brandon, to be in this wheelchair. They beat you up, Brandon, for you. How could you beat me up for me? I was never told it was for me when I got beat up. I was never told it was for me, you know? So it was like, never let any of them people tell you it was for you when they did bad stuff. So like I said, if someone pretended to be my wife, whether it was before April 30th, on April 30th, or after April 30th, you're wrong for what you did, is what they told me. Since I'm not the judge, I was told that you're wrong. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, you know. So in those situations, it was like, how can it be for you if they didn't ask me, Brandon, how do you want it done? So what, they're gonna claim they were my hyena and they was just teaching me how to have sex and they was just preparing me and making sure that I was appropriate? I never agreed to be Job. A pastor told me one time, if you're ever in this situation, think about Job. I never agreed to be Job. I never agreed to be tested in a marriage to see if I love God. It was not my idea. It was not for me. You know, those situations.